Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm officeblokedaz.
Officebloked Aidan.
I'm Gaynor.
Alright, we're going to tour the USA here. Don't forget to like and subscribe first, by the way.
Thank you.
We're going to tour. These are the most famous restaurants in America.
Oh, okay.
Most famous.
Do you know that one that's proper famous in America?
Not really. Nothing springs to mind that I can think that's a famous restaurant. The only one I can think of is like the famous one in New York was that diner we went to, which got quite a famous reputation across the world.
Ellen's
Stardust Diner, yeah. That's the only one I can think of as like a famous thing, but these are probably talking these 5-star restaurants, yeah. They're not
Michelin star restaurants.
Restaurant, yeah. And I can't really think of one that springs to mind. And obviously we know the Hawks more.
Yeah.
In the USA, in New York.
Is that going to be one of the most famous restaurants in America?
Probably not. I wouldn't thought so. No.
Tavern on the Green.
Yeah, but again, a lot of them could be in New York. I don't think this is going to go state to state, or if this is just, the famous.
I reckon
ones
I reckon.
I'll tell you, what's the one where when Harry met Sally?
I don't know what it's called.
I was going to say, if you say it's going through every state, I reckon there'll be like multiple in New York.
They've got to be, haven't they? And LA as well, I'm thinking, places like that. Yeah. Let's have a look anyway.
Yeah.
These are the most famous restaurants in America.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we can say for sure when sampling the country's best-known restaurants, it's that there's no one right way to enjoy eating. From pizza joints and delis to oyster houses and donut shops, these are the most famous restaurants in America. With so many incredible restaurants from coast to coast, it can be difficult to stand out, but it certainly helps when you're the setting of one of the most famous movie scenes of all time. And thanks to Meg Ryan's cries of ecstasy to Billy Crystal, Katzs Deli is known the world over for its appearance in When Harry Met Sally.
I'll have what she's having.
But Katz's is more than just a bit of movie trivia. Opened in 1888, this iconic deli has remained as popular as ever thanks to its delectable menu. The most notable items are the pastrami and corned beef sandwiches. These overstuffed creations are made with meat that's cured for up to 30 days, giving it a flavor you simply won't find at your local corner deli. If you're visiting Katz's, you'll want to get there early as it's not uncommon for lines to stretch out the door. Once inside, guests can sit at the same table where Meg and Billy once sat and gaze at the cornucopia of memorabilia and photos around the restaurant. And if you can't make it to New York, don't worry, as Katz's ships nationwide. Mystic Pizza is another.
Just to ask on that one, is there like this famous movie scene that was there? Because I've never seen the movie scene or anything.
She has like an orgasm. And she starts banging on the table.
What is like a famous? What movie is it from?
When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh.
So it's Billy Crystal and
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
When you said that to her before, I thought it was like two people that you knew.
No. Fair point, though, you've never heard of it.
Restaurant that benefited from an appearance on the silver screen. But instead of simply serving as a location in a movie, the entire film was named after the restaurant. The 1988 romantic comedy Mystic Pizza stars Julia Roberts and follows the lives of 3 pizza parlor waitresses. The restaurant can thank screenwriter Amy Jones in particular for the publicity. Jones was summering in the town of Mystic, Connecticut when the local pizza place caught her eye. She was inspired and chose to use the location as the main setting of her script. The movie was filmed in and around the town of Mystic, although the restaurant scenes weren't actually filmed at the real Mystic Pizza. But once the movie became a huge hit, the pizza parlor was redesigned to look precisely the way it did in the film. After the film was released, people flocked to the quiet southern Connecticut town. Customers would line up outside waiting for a chance to grab some memorabilia and maybe get a slice of pizza. It got so busy that the owner...
I don't think we've been to that restaurant, but I think we've been to Mystic, Connecticut, for whatever reason.
I don't remember.
I think we had a weekend away there.
Surely you'd remember stuff like that.
No, there's loads of stuff I don't remember.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, same.
Owners had to open a second location nearby. Entering into the Union Oyster House is like stepping back in time, which makes sense as it's the oldest continuously operating restaurant in the country, having opened in 1826. And the building itself has been standing in the same spot on Boston's Union Street even longer, probably soon after the Puritans landed on Plymouth Rock. During all this time, the Union Oyster House has seen some...
Have you?
Yeah.
Have we been there?
Yeah. So, do you remember when we went to meet Bill and Lydia?
Yeah.
And they were staying in that.
Yeah.
And then we went out during the day with them. We went in that inside area.
Is that what it was?
That's where it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
famous faces walk through its doors, including
You guys have been everywhere. It's crazy.
Massachusetts Congressman Daniel Webster and John F. Kennedy. The latter always enjoyed his privacy in one of the upstairs booths, which has since been dedicated in his memory. Adding to the restaurant's lore, it's also reportedly the location where the first toothpick was used. If you're ever in Boston, grab a seat at the Oyster House's famed U-shaped raw bar. Throw back some bivalves and breathe in the history. The modern fine dining scene in the United States can likely be traced back to Napa Valley in the mid-1990s, which is when chef Thomas Keller opened the French Laundry. Since then, the iconic location has widely been considered to be one of the best restaurants in not just the country, but the entire planet. In fact, it's twice been named the best restaurant in the world, in 2003 and 2004. The Michelin Guide has awarded the French Laundry 3 stars, its highest rating, every year since 2007. So just what exactly makes this dining experience so special? Each night, 2 tasting menus are offered, including a vegetarian option. These menus are based entirely on what fresh ingredients the restaurant has acquired.
It's a really nice, like, clean and organised kitchen as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's in Napa Valley as well, so you're going to get good wines there as well. So you're going to get the combo, but if it's the French Laundry, I don't know if it's a French restaurant.
I was
Say
going
if it
to
was
say
French
food.
You won't be getting the USA wines, you're probably getting French wines.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of French food as well.
Why?
Why not?
Because everything, it all seems like frogs and snails and
No,
stuff.
it's nothing like that.
No,
You'd
you
like
get
it.
that. You'd like French food.
Yeah. A lot of
There used to be a
chicken.
really good one in Altrincham called Frank's.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
really nice French
Yeah.
French
on Juice
restaurant.
Green.
Yeah,
And also, there was 2 on the Downs facing
there
each
was,
other.
and it was owned by the same people. Believe
Yeah.
it enough.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
French Brasserie, I
Yeah.
think one was called.
that day.
It all begins with respect for the ingredients, and the French Laundry's ingredients couldn't be fresher.
Often, the products come from boutique purveyors. Eating at the French Laundry can be quite a commitment. Dinners can last up to 3 hours and cost more than $300. But customers keep showing up to this rustic restaurant for a once-in-a-lifetime feast. In a city like New Orleans, one of the culinary capitals of the world, there are a number of iconic restaurants. But one in particular stands out among the rest. Commander's Palace is famous for many things. First and foremost is its staying power. It was founded in the city's Garden District in 1893. Next is the food, of course. Commander's Palace has received 7 James Beard Foundation Awards, the top recognition in the culinary world. And though you might find some locals who disagree, this New Orleans landmark is the place to go for a bowl of seafood gumbo. Commander's Palace is also well known for the culinary talents that have passed through its doors. Some of the top chefs in the country have worked in the kitchen, the most notable of whom is Emeril Lagasse. And just in case this restaurant
We were talking about him yesterday,
Yeah.
weren't we?
It's piled on the pounds.
Well, you're working in the food industry.
Yeah.
You don't see many skinny chefs, really, do you? Right? You know what I mean?
not
Gotta try the
needed
food.
any more
true.
attention, it got some in 1974 when the owners gave the outside of the building an eye-catching new coat of paint, affectionately known as Commander's Blue. If you're in New Orleans, you can't miss Commander's Palace, literally and figuratively. St. Elmo Steakhouse has been standing in the same spot in downtown Indianapolis for more than a century, which makes it the city's oldest steakhouse in its original location. It's such an iconic establishment that it made it onto national TV when it was featured on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation.
One rare porterhouse, one rare sirloin, and a rasher of bacon.
That's the Lord's work you're doing, John.
While customers certainly come for the steak, the must-have item is actually the shrimp cocktail. St. Elmo refers to it as world famous on its menu and reminds patrons that most meals at the establishment begin with an order of the 4 jumbo shrimp and spicy signature cocktail sauce. Every entree at St. Elmo Steakhouse
I would like that, but the thing that's throwing me off is a spicy cocktail sauce.
It's really nice.
Mate,
It's
yeah.
Spicy.
It's like a, almost.
horseradish.
Yeah, it's almost like a what's it spice? Like a salsa spice as opposed to like a curry spice.
A creamy one.
Dunno.
Like when we think of prawn cocktails, we think of the creamy Thousand Island dressing sauce, don't we? Over there, it's horseradish with, it's like
Probably
a red
jalapeno
sauce.
sort of thing in it as well, like
Oh,
some
I
kind of
don't
pepper
know.
in it. Like some
I
pepper
really like the
sauce,
cocktail sauce you get here with your prawns. So
comes with either a glass of tomato juice or a bowl of navy bean soup, consisting of beans, ham, tomatoes, and parsley. Since the restaurant has been around so long, no one is entirely sure how
Not
this
short on
peculiar
alcohol.
tradition originated. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ask any New Yorker the first place they think of when they hear the word steakhouse, and they will invariably answer Peter Luker. The iconic Brooklyn restaurant's history dates back to 1887 when it opened as Carl Lugers Cafe, Billiards and Bowling Alley. Peter Luger owned the restaurant while his nephew Carl managed the kitchen. Following the elder Luger's death, the establishment fell into disrepair. Fortunately, a patron by the name of Sal Foreman entered an auction to purchase Peter Luger's. He won largely because he was the only one to bid. Soon thereafter, the restaurant was quickly back up and running. 3 generations later, it's still owned by the family and reigns as one of the best-known New York steakhouses. Zagat's survey has rated it the best such restaurant in the city for 3 straight decades, and it even earned a Michelin star. It's also since opened a second location on Long Island. Ironically enough, Peter Luger's most famous dish may not be a steak offering, but instead the thick-cut bacon. Thick-cut is an understatement, as this bacon is closer to the size of a pork chop. Fortunately for those outside of New York, the famous bacon is also available at grocery stores and shipped nationwide. The Bluebird Cafe is actually more famous as a
I don't think that would be nice. Bacon that thick.
I've had bacon chops, and I really like them, but sometimes they can be very salty.
Yeah.
I just reckon it'll be too much.
Depends how it's cooked, I think. Depends how it's cooked and what it's cooked in. I know what you mean though, because bacon on its own can be a little bit strong tasting. Like
It's like gammon if you like a gammon
yeah, I'm not
steak.
keen on gammon because of that. It's probably
Because gammon's quite thick.
yeah.
Yeah. But
But you
I
can
like
cut gammon
bacon
as thick as
chops.
you need it, don't you? So it comes on a joint.
Yeah.
So you can slice it to whatever thickness you want.
Yeah.
music venue than a restaurant. But since it serves a full menu of appetizers, sandwiches, and drinks, it deserves to be on this list. Opened in 1982, it's an institution not just in its home state of Tennessee, but across the whole country music landscape. This unsuspecting 90-seat venue located in a strip mall just outside downtown Nashville has played host to a who's who of stars, from Leanne Rimes and Taylor Swift to Garth Brooks and Keith Urban. It's not just the stage where you'll see famous faces. Some of the Bluebird's famous visitors have included the likes of Bono, John Bon Jovi, Cher, Barbara Walters, and Al Gore. And in case it needed even more of a spotlight, it was also featured on the hit TV show Nashville. And in 2008, the original owner sold the restaurant to the Nashville Songwriters Association International. Selling to a not-for-profit organization as opposed to an individual or corporation allowed the venue to keep its close relationship with the community. Voodoo Donut is still in its infancy compared to most of the other restaurants on this list, but in just a short time, it's amassed such a cult following that it's now one of the most famous foodie destinations in the country. It all started back in 2003 when 2 Portlanders discovered that there were precisely 0 donut shops in downtown Portland. That inspired them to open a tiny storefront where they began turning out delicious but unconventional donuts. It didn't take long for the public to catch on to what Voodoo was up to, and within a month it was featured in the national press. It now has 10 locations across 5 states, and you'll likely find hungry customers lined out the door and around the block at all of them.
They become so popular, people from all over the world stop by for a taste.
So what sort of crazy concoctions has Voodoo been baking?
So I'm not going anywhere if there's like a massive queue waiting outside. I wouldn't.
No patience.
No, yeah.
This looks like does that look like meat and cheese to you? Like a burger donut?
No, it looks like chocolate.
It looks
Chocolate.
it looks like chocolate chips and caramel drizzle maybe.
I don't think it's meat.
You don't know,
Up.
let's see.
Some of their most popular donuts include the Bacon Maple
that's got
Bar,
meat on
which
it.
is topped with
Jesus.
maple frosting and bacon, the Marshall Mathers with vanilla frosting and mini M&Ms, and the Oh Captain My Captain, which is covered in vanilla frosting and Cap'n Crunch cereal. And of course, let's not forget the shop's namesake item, which is a donut shaped like a voodoo doll filled with raspberry jelly. Individually, Pat's and Gino
Just the thing on that Marshall Mathers M&Ms. Someone said the other day to me, or I read somewhere that he said that M&M, his name E-M-I-N-E-N,
Yeah.
right, stands for Every Mother Is Nice Except Mine.
Really?
And I was like, what? I never knew that. And I'm like, no, that can't be right. Let me know if that's right. And
Who
I was
told
like,
you that?
I can't remember where I'd seen it or someone told me. But I was just like, what? Every
No,
mother
that
is
would-
nice except mine.
That would be amazing if that,
Yeah.
that was a true story.
Yeah,
And we've only just heard it now after
yeah.
all these years.
I'm only just hearing it now. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Let me know if
I
it
don't know
is.
That's true though.
Yeah. I'm unsure, but that's what I found out. Well, that's what I heard.
Those are the 2 most well-known cheesesteak outposts in the cheesesteak's capital city.
Yep.
Together, they form one of
been
the
to
most
Gino's.
famous
I've been to-
culinary
I've been to
destinations
Katzs
in the
as well.
country. It helps that they're located directly across the street
Yep.
from each other. Debate has always swirled around where these two
That Geno's one has all photographs, if I remember rightly. I think it's the one on the left. Geno's has all the photographs of all the people that have been there.
Famous people.
And it has all the presidents and stuff like that who have been, and all the famous footballers and all the things like that. It's just an outside window that you get your cheesesteak from.
I remember we were watching another video and they were saying that everybody goes to Geno's, but there's actually a little hidden gem just down the road.
But it's Pat's. Is it Pat's right facing it?
I don't know.
The one it come up as, yeah. But it's but Geno's is the one where, like I say, it's a little window I've been in, and it's the best cheesesteaks I've ever had. Fantastic. But I've been that one, yeah.
sandwich restaurants stand in the evolution of the cheesesteak, not to mention which one is better. But here's what we can say for sure. Nearly a century ago, Pat Oliveri was operating a small hot dog stand in Philadelphia. One day, he decided to try something new for lunch and cooked some chopped meat on his grill, threw it on an Italian loaf, and topped it with onions. Thus, the cheesesteak was born. Fast forward 36 years to when Philadelphia native Joey Vento opened Geno's Steaks across the street. According to Vento, he was the one who was truly the first to add cheese to the steak sandwich. Precisely how it came to be is a moot point now, as the cheesesteak is synonymous with the city of brotherly love. Both shop sandwiches are fairly similar: strips of ribeye steak, melted cheese, and grilled onions on an Italian roll. The main difference is the type of cut, believe it or not. Pat's steak is chopped, whereas Geno's slices their steak. Joe's Stone Crab is now a Miami institution, but it had the most humble of beginnings. It opened in 1913 as nothing more than a lunch stand on a dirt road by the beach with a few picnic tables out front. It didn't even serve stone crab. Most people didn't know they were edible. Owner Joe Weiss cooked up fish sandwiches while his wife Jenny served tables. About a decade after opening, a Harvard biologist working at a nearby aquarium came in one day with a sack full of stone crabs. Joe threw them in boiling water, and the rest is history. They're still served the same chilled and cracked way that they were back then, but the restaurant's clientele has evolved from locals to an incredibly impressive and wide-reaching list of celebrities. Everyone from Al Capone and J. Edgar Hoover to Amelia Earhart and Jennifer Lopez has stopped by for a stone crab claw. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even
Yeah, I'm more interested in the food, but that Geno's in Philadelphia, yeah, I'll go there again.
Yeah.
That's as everyone knows, I love my cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
And Hugo took me there.
I need to try like a proper one, don't I?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to plan our trip to the USA
Yeah.
in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say the next few weeks, and probably in the next week or two, we'll probably plan it all out and get it going.
Yeah.
So it's looking likely the high favourite for us to go, Atlanta.
Yeah.
To fly to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So and
We
then
need
go
to have
from
a
there.
cheesesteak.
We do need to have a cheesesteak, but yeah, we might have to go via Philadelphia.
Or someone needs to bring us one.
Yeah, a proper one.
Would you not be able to buy a cheesesteak in another?
You can buy cheese, and
Yeah.
the cheesesteaks you get in the USA will all be pretty good. We went in a restaurant not long ago, if you remember, an American restaurant over here, and they said new on the menu's cheesesteak, and I went, it's not going to be the same though. They went, our chef's American, he said it's as good as any, and we got it, and it wasn't.
No.
It was nowhere near.
No.
Wasn't even close. I could have made a better one,
Yeah.
sort of thing. But it was, but that's cheesesteaks are just the best.
But when you make cheesesteaks, you need to use ribeye. You don't use ribeye.
No, I don't. I use sirloin,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So, but yeah, I'll change it up. Yeah, and try and get that exact taste that we need.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.